got two scary ones today. Well, not scary personally, it's more scary to be in the situation and to know what you would have to do as a person to survive too.
I will never get over this last photo ever captured of Rasheem Carter and how he was running for his life shortly before he disappeared. He would be found 1 month later, his head severed from his dismembered body. Yet Mississippi police say no foul play is involved. But the way I see it, this man was literally hunted down and killed. And for some reason, it seems like it's being covered up. So let's talk about it. Rasheem Carter was 25 years old when he mysteriously disappeared on October 2nd, 2022. He had recently moved to Taylorsville, Mississippi for a new job as a contractor at the Georgia Pacific Mill. He and another contractor at the same job decided to room up together and stay at the Super 8 Motel in Laurel, which is about 30 miles away from the job site.
Yeah, bad move. Bad move. If you're doing something like that and something happens to you, go back home. Try to get away as fast as possible, because once you're putting yourself in somebody else's train or lane or whatever it is, you don't know what that person will take or feel against you, and then you're out of a situation just because they feel some type of way. And the last thing you want to do is deal with somebody else's feelings. I'm pretty sure this is going to turn out bad, but we're going to listen to, well, we know it's going to turn out bad because we heard at the start. But no, once I can't do it for myself, I'm not going to stay in that situation. I definitely go back and start over if I need to.
Worked out really great because Rasheem's car had recently broken down, so his coworker would give him a ride to and from work since they were going to the same place. Everything seemed to be going great, but in the days leading up to his disappearance, Rasheem would text his mom and tell her that he was having some trouble with a few people that he worked with, and that if she suddenly stopped hearing from him, these coworkers were responsible. Fast forward to October 1st, 2022. Rasheem and his coworker/roommate got into an argument. What about has never been revealed, but it was severe enough for his coworker to refuse giving him a ride back to the motel, and he actually ended up leaving without Rasheem. I'm assuming after this, Rasheem started to walk back to the motel when, out of nowhere, he called his mom in a panic and told her that he had just been chased into a family dollar store in Taylor's.
I would have stood at the job. I mean, I can't say what it is because maybe they picked them up from a certain location and like dropped them off there. I would have stood at the job. Somebody giving me a ride, bro. I'm not about to, no. Especially not knowing the area, not being from there, no. But that's why I'd also say I wouldn't put myself in that predicament, because once I can't do it for myself, I'm not gonna leave it up to somebody. Because not to say that I will be the one insulting somebody, because I'm not doing that, but I don't know how another person's feelings is. And at the end of the day, yes, we could live together, but he may not like taking me to work. I may be annoying to him, and like how the situation turned out. Whole time he could have not liked him, or whole time the person could have been a bad person and he's just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt until he can't anymore.
By 3 trucks full of white men.
Not saying that he was a bad person. Not saying that at all. Like, nobody deserves what you're about to hear.
He was scared for his life and told his mom, quote, "If something happens to me, start here." End quote. His mom, who lived in a different state, did her best to try and calm him down, and she told him to go into a police station to wait it out and wait for the men to leave. So that's what Rasheem did. He walked into the Taylorsville Police Department and told them everything that had happened and that he was scared for his life. He also asked if they could possibly escort him or give him a ride back to the Super 8 Motel in Laurel, but Taylorsville PD said no because it was out of their jurisdiction and in another county. They then turned him away.
We all know as cops that's a lie. Cops go around the borders all the time. You just can't do no cop work inside their city. There's no way possible that you can't enter. You can't just pull nobody over and give no tickets. That's what we know for a fact. So y'all are lying. Y'all could have definitely gave him a ride back to where he was. So y'all got a big part to play in this.
And what happened after this has never been explained. It's not known where Rasheem went after this or where he slept that night, since he never made it back to the motel. But the next morning, which was now October 2nd, he went back to the Taylorsville Police Department and told them that he was now being stalked and threatened by a group of white men, and he was extremely scared. He asked them to please help him, but they once again said no and made him leave the station. As he left, he called his mom one last time, and one of the last things he ever said to her was, quote, "Mom, I'm not crazy." And seeing as though his mom lived in a different current state, she couldn't just easily get to him, so she once again tried calming him down, and then she tried to see if she knew anyone in the area who could possibly go and pick him up and get him off the street. But not long after this, Rashim disappeared, and there would be no clue as to what happened to him until a month later. On November 1st, the Smith County Sheriff's Office called Rashim's mom and asked her if she could take a look at an image caught by Hunter's trail camera. This was really odd to her because this was in the middle of the woods, and surely Rashim wouldn't have been all the way out there, right? But once she looked at the video, she immediately knew it was Rashim. The video showed Rashim running for his life without a shirt and carrying a large stick. So authorities then began searching for him in the area, and the next day, his partial remains were found at the Deer Creek Park off of Highway 37. This was 1 mile south of Taylorsville. Over the next few months, more of Rashim's remains would be found in the area, including on someone's property in Taylorsville. His head had been severed from his body, and his spinal cord was found in a separate area from his head. Also found in the area were Rashim's pants that held his ATM card, his cash, and his phone charger. The second his remains were found, the Smith County Sheriff's Office released a statement saying there was no reason to believe foul play was involved. And sadly, because of this, there really wasn't ever an investigation to begin with. I don't get how authorities can say no.
I'm saying they did it. It was them, the cops. Because how could you say all of that? The person who came to you ended up this way. You're the only suspects at this point to me. Don't come after me because I ain't nobody that could make this come to light.
Foul play suspected when his head was literally severed from his body. That and the fact that right before he went missing, he was being chased down by a group of white men. He even begged the police for help on 2 separate occasions before he disappeared, but this still happened, and I'm just not buying that no foul play was involved. This case was soon handed over to the FBI, but according to them, even though they performed a forensic examination on his body, they still couldn't determine a cause or manner of death for Rashim. Rashim's murder gained national attention, so of course people were demanding answers, but specifically from Taylorsville PD, who turned Rashim away before he was killed, not once, but twice. Taylorsville PD went on to say, quote, "It didn't happen in our city limits, so Taylorsville is not responsible."
You're a bunch of liars, man.
For it. This case probably won't be solved. It seems like a freak accident. Their explanation is that Rashim was killed by a wild animal, and their logic is that they truly don't think anyone in their community could have done something like that. A deputy with the Taylorsville PD even went on to say, quote, "Maybe he was on PCP or something," end quote. This response is absolutely sickening, and so is the lack of investigation into this case. It doesn't take a genius to know the history Taylorsville had, and probably still has to this day. What's really telling to me.
Well, I'm still saying the cops did it. I am still saying the cops did it. Because they the only ones that suspects to me. Because it's like, he came to you for help, you turned him away. Like, you're, as a cop, you're not supposed to unless you are like that.
Is the fact that people in the town are scared to talk about what happened to Rashim, and that pretty much sums it up for me. Rashim had a 7-year-old daughter who just wants to know what happened to her dad. She still calls his phone just to talk to him. It's now been 2 years, and although what exactly happened to Rashim and who was responsible is still a mystery, I think we can all agree that this was not accidental, and some—
Nope, not even a little bit. I'm on your side all the way. Fuck you mean? He went over there on purpose. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, once like you can't do what you need to do for you, it's time to get up out of there. I swear to you, it's definitely time to get up out of there. Absolutely. But yeah, I can't say, because some people feel like they man enough or strong enough or whatever. I would never, and I'm sorry that happened to you, buddy. I am.
An 8-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by her father's brother, and the father ended up killing and dismembering his own brother. When the 8-year-old daughter came back home from her uncle's house.
Damn straight. Fuck you mean? We not family after you do no shit like that. We is definitely not family after you do those shit. What?
House. Rodriguez noticed her pants were soaked in blood. The little girl told him that her uncle had hurt her. Curious and out of his mind, Rodriguez immediately headed to his brother's house. As soon as his brother opened the door, Rodriguez attacked him and beat him unconscious. He then tied up his brother and tortured him. Eventually, Rodriguez grabbed an axe and dismembered his brother's body. The head, arms, legs, they were all stuffed into the suitcases, which he dumped into a lake. A few days later, hikers found the dismembered remains floating in the water. Police found Rodriguez's fingerprints on the victim, as well as blood in the trunk of his car, leading to his arrest. Rodriguez was sentenced to life in prison. What do you think about this case? Is Rodriguez a criminal or a hero? Should he be released without charges? Share your take.
Well, he's neither. What he is a father. We're gonna get that straight. And when some of us have a daughter, we treat them so good that no man should date them. If we're keeping it 100. And especially when, I've never really considered myself a girl father, but okay, let's get to the story. If I become a girl father, I don't care what my daughter does. Like, she could be a narcissist. Don't put your hands on her. Every time she call, I'm coming. Even if I end up in jail, every time she call, I'm coming. I'm sorry. It'll be as either it's gonna be a lot of ass whippings to one person, or it's gonna be a lot of ass whippings to multiple people. But every time she get in trouble or somebody do something, well, we talking about putting hands. Like, I don't care if he arguing, making her look stupid. I don't care about none of that. You put hands, I'm coming to put hands. So if you don't, hey, you a better man. Well, not better man than me, because technically that's, and that's even me believing that some women do deserve that. I just don't never want to end up with a woman like that. Like, you could stay over there. Fuck you, me. No questions about it. But to my daughter and no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm sorry. That's the one thing you can't do. And it's just crazy to think, because they say 1 in 3 women, girls or whatever. If you know what that means, look it up. 1 in 3. So you know somebody who has been in a situation like that. Yes, us as men, we could sit back and say, yeah, we could be sympathetic. Yeah, we would do different. He not playing. We know for a fact that he has never been told no situation like this to somebody that he cared about. Because if he was, this wouldn't have been the climax to his life. This would have been the thing. You feel me? So the one person that he loved the most, somebody betrayed, and yeah, he not gonna sit for that. And honestly, I won't either. I won't. But YouTube, don't ban my shit, man. It's all learning purposes, because at the end of the day, some people kids you just don't fuck with.